नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम. Now, in the previous couple of lessons, we discussed something about the number of the noun, where we said that a noun could take a singular form, that is an object or place name. Then we said that there could be a dual case where you bring two nouns together and said that that is called as muthanna in Arabic. And in the Jama form, we said that there are two possibilities of Jama. One of them is that the root itself is intact, and another one is that the root letters of the root is basically split off or detached. So we have a two form of Jama, and this Jama, which we said as the root is intact, that is a sound plural, and you can make that one by adding una sound at the root. And in this lesson, we will be talking about the broken plural. So let's first make vocabulary section. Tiflun, tiflun, tiflun. Amalun, amalun, amalun. Shakhsun, shakhsun, shakhsun. Waqtun, waqtun, waqtun. Malun, malun, malun. Nahrun, nahrun, nahrun. Now, when we talk about the broken plural, then that means that the root words is broken down and the letters are separated away from each other. In that case, it's very hard to make plural of it, and that's an art that comes with an extensive reading. But however, some of the researchers have found some templates, that means some kind of a pattern that exists in the broken plurals that you can remember, and then you can make from the words the broken plural. So here we will be studying 7 templates or 7 patterns so that you can remember those patterns, and then you can apply it to the noun, and from there you can make your broken plural. Now let's study some of the broken plural, and from there we will derive some of the template. The first broken plural is aqlamun. That is aqlamun, and that is a broken plural of qalamun. Another broken plural that you have here is abwabun, abwabun, and that is a broken plural of babun. Adhkarun, that's the broken plural of zikrun. Atfalun, and that's the broken plural of tiflun. And a'malun is the broken plural of amalun. And you know the meaning of these all words. So these are all the broken plurals. From them we will derive a template so that you can remember it, and there we will practice a little bit so that you know exactly how it works. So let's bring all them together. It was aqlamun, abwabun, adhkarun, atfalun, a'malun. If you look at these all broken plural, you can see that there is something in common. The first thing that is in common in these is this alif with the fatha sign, and that is the basically hamza with a fatha. That is it. That's the hamza with a fatha, that's the hamza with a fatha, and that's the hamza, and that's the hamza with a fatha. So let's take that hamza out with a fatha. Another thing I can see that within these words is that the sakin, and that is the rest, which is common among all of them, though the letter changes. That is kaf over with the sakin on there, that's the ba with the sakin over there, that's the dha with the sakin, and that's the ta with the sakin, and that's the ah with the sakin. So let's take that one out, and you can see that I have represented that with a dash. That dash means that could be any letter, so it could be kaf, it could be ba, it could be dha, it could be ta, it could be ah, or it could be anything else. So I've taken that one as a blank space, and there is a sakin sound which is common among all of them. Another thing which is in common is, if you look at that one, is this fatha in common at that position. So we will leave that letter as blank. That means that one kaf with a fatha, that is fa with a fatha, and ma with a fatha, and that is basically the fatha which is in common among all of them, and not the letter. So I'll leave the letter blank and the fatha is taken as common. Another thing which is in common is among at the 4th position, the alif is common here, the alif is common over there, the alif is common over there, alif common and alif common. So we leave the alif as a common over there, And the last thing that you can see is that this last position thing is changing, that letter is changing, but the tanween remains the same. So that means the tanween is the common among all of them. So this is what we need from all of them to derive a template. In order to derive a template, because these things are changing, the qaf change, and that's why I left it blank. This position changes and I left it blank, and this position changes and I left it blank. Now you need to remember one more thing, and that is that in Arabic 99% of the nouns are derived from 3 root letters. So 99% of the nouns are derived from 3 root letters, and that's where all things would come in. That kaf is one of the root letter, lam is another root letter, mim in this case is the root letter, third root letter. In this case, ba is our first root letter, and that wow is another second root letter, and the ba is the third root letter. So that 3 root letters makes a jama mukassar or any word. In this case, because we are dealing with the broken plural, so that broken plural is made of the 3 letters. Here the broken plural is made of the 3 letters. So as I said, that 99% of the nouns would be made of 3 root letters. So we are looking for 3 root letters here, 3 root letters over here as well, 3 root letters over here as well, and as well here. So the place that is missing is the root letters, and how we would derive a pattern or a template from it. Now, because we are talking about a pattern, or because we are talking about a template is a kind of a standard thing. That means you can replace anything in there. So we need to use some standard letters. In Arabic, the standard letters that are used, and we will be using it a lot, so learn it at this stage, that the standard letters that we use for 3 root letters are fa, ain, and lam. That is, alif with harfa remains the same, and instead of these letters that I've took it and left it blank, I would use my first standard letter as fa, my second standard letter would be ain, and my last standard letter and the third standard letter would be the lam. So that will be always the case, that the first standard letter would be the fa, the second standard letter will be ain, and the last or the third standard letter would be lam. As we said, that 99% of the nouns are made of 3 root letters. So our standard root letters are fa, ain, and lam. And now we can replace them and we can form these words out of it. So if, for example, instead of fa, I want to use the qaf, so that is aq, and instead of ain, I wanted to use the lam with the fatha, that is aq, la, and la, and that instead of the lam, we can use the meme, so that will make me aqlamun. So if you want to replace that fa and lam with any of these root letters, then it will form the broken plural. So our first template in this case is af'alun, because we're also looking at the i'rab of the noun, so therefore it's better to represent this also in the 3 cases. And the first case would be then this, that the rafa would be as it is, that is the rafa that you make it in, and then the nasab case will be that it's a tanween, so there will be double fatha and alif with it, so it is af'alan, and that would be af'ilan. Now let's practice some words, and we will be replacing those with the root letter. We have here 4 words, and we wanted to convert it into a broken plurals. First of all, we have to do is to divide it into the root letters, and the first word, which is shakhsun, I can divide it into sheen, kha, and sad. That is sheen, kha, and sad. And then what I do, I bring that template, empty template where there is no standard root letters, but you can put, of course, the standard root letters over there. That is fa, ain, and lam, but I left it blank because I wanted to bring those things here. So instead of that fa place, I wanted to bring the sheen, and instead of the ain place, I wanted to bring the kha over there, and the last letter would be occupied by the sad. So that would make it, out of this template, a broken plural of shakhsun as ashkhasun. And that when you join it together, that will make it ashkhasun. And similarly, you can make broken plural of waqtun as, break it down into 3, and then you can see that you bring that template, empty template, and put those root letters into the place of the standard root letters, and you will get awqatun, and that is awqatun. This word is a little bit trickier, but is made of a 3 standard root letter. As you can see, it's mim, alif, and lam. That alif in the middle that you see, it is not actually alif. It's been converted to alif. It was basically wow. It was wow because it was not a corresponding sound to the fatha on the meme, and that's why it's been changed. And we will be talking about this in a verb in detail, but just for a minute, keep this thing in mind that waw has been changed to alif because that fatha on the meme was there, and we wanted to bring a corresponding sound with a fatha, and that's why we have changed it to the alif. So this will be broken down into meme alif lam, and this alif was basically waw, so this meme waw and lam, and that would be then make up the word as a broken plural as amwalun. And the last one is break it down into nun, ha and ra, and that would replace that one here, and that would be anharun, and that is anharun, and it's the complete word as anharun. So that's how you make the broken plural out of any word, break it down into root letters, and then put those root letters into the template, and you are ready to go. Now that was the first template that we have studied so far. There are 6 more that we're going to be studying it in this lesson. So let's first of all make some vocabulary, and that is jabalun, 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 jamalun, 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 bahrun, bahrun, bahrun. Now we will be looking at the broken plural of the second template. The word that we have seen in the vocabulary section, let's bring them here, and that is the jibalun is the broken plural of jabalun. Another one, jimalun is the broken plural of jabalun, and ibadun is the broken plural of the same as abdun, and then biharun is the broken plural of bahrun, and kiramun is the broken plural of karimun. And let's analyze them. Just put them in the row, and jibalun, jimalun, ibadun, biharun, kiramun, and let's see what is in common. The same tactics we will be using it to make the template as to see other commons. The things which is in common is that you can see that jim in jim is common, but they are not common in here, so that's not what you're looking for. The thing that we are looking for is the vibration. The first vibration which is in common at the first place, which is this one and that one and that one, is the kasra vibration. You bring it here, leave the place as blank because this root letter are going to change, and we will be replacing that with a standard root letter. So another one, that meme, you don't see meme over here, but the thing which is in common is this and that vibration and that vibration and that vibration, and so is that vibration. So that is the fatha which is in common, and that's leave me with a blank space over there. Now another thing which is in common is the alif. Alif here, alif here, alif here. So at the third position, if you see it, is the alif which is in common on all of them, so you bring alif as it is. And the last one, lam is common over there, lam is common over there, but the lam is not common over here, so that means we can drop that one. The one thing which is in common is the tanween, so you can put the tanween at the last stage and you have your template ready. Now instead of those letters, that means instead of those root letters, you can replace them with the standard root letters fa, ain and lam. So that would be fa with a kasra, and ain with a fatha, alif would be as it is, and lam with a tanween. So your template is, in this case, is fi'alun. Your template is fi'alun. If you remember this template, then you can make a broken plural of this kind from a noun. So bear in mind that this, so if you have a root letters, that doesn't mean that you can put it into all the 7 templates and you can generate a broken plural out of them. Those root letter would belongs to one of the template. It's not that you can apply it on all 7 templates. So we have this template, and then you can represent this template into different cases, and one of them would be, that is the one that we made it in, fi'alun, and that is in nasab would be fi'alan, fi'alin, and that's our second template. Now let's jump into the vocabulary section and bring some words. Qalbun, qalbun, qalbun. And let's make some broken plural of kind of these words. Let's see, in that one first is qulubun is the broken plural of qalbun. Ujurun is the broken plural of ajrun. Nufusun is the broken plural of nafsun. Uyunun is the broken plural of aynun. And lastly, wujuhun is the broken plural of wajhun. And let's bring it together and generate a template from it. So we have got qulubun, wujurun, nufusun, uyunun, and wujuhun. The first thing which is in common is the vibration, and that vibration is the dhamma. So bring that vibration there with a blank space. The second thing is also the vibration, and there's also the dhamma vibration. So now you know the exercise and you can find out what exactly is in common. And the third thing which is in common is this wow with the second sign, and that's what you bring here. Another one is the letter, but the letter changes only the tanween is in common, so that's when you will bring it there, and that's it. So if you replace it with the standard root letters with fa, ain, and lam, that would be then fa, fu, ru, and you stretch it with u, that is fu'ulun, fu'ulun, and then your template would be ready as fu'ulun. You would see them as it is, and that is in rafa, so we can change it to then nasab and jar, and that would be fu'ulan and fu'ulin. Fu'ulun, fu'ulan, fu'ulin. Just bring another one. Kutubun is a broken plural of kitabun. Rusulun is a broken plural of rasulun. And then suhufun is a broken plural of sahifatun. So now let's derive a template from it, and the thing that is common is the first vibration, which is the dhamma. The second is also dhamma, and the last one is tanween. So you have got all the three spaces empty. You have to replace it with the standard letters, that is fa, and that is fu, lun, that is fu'ulun. And now join it together, that would be fu'ulun, and that is in rafa, so you can take it to fu'ulan and fu'ulin, fu'ulun, fu'ulan, and fu'ulin. Let's see some more. Anbiya'un, and that is a broken plural of nabiyun. I said anbiya'un, I didn't say anbiya'un. That's the rule of a tajweed that you have to apply. If noon is followed by ba, you have to make it a sound of me. Awliya'u, and that is a broken plural of waliyun. Aghniya'u, and that's a broken plural of ghani. Now let's derive a template from it. The first place that you can see it is the hamza with a fatha, and then noon, wow, and ghain, that's with the sakin, so you left it that there, and then the kasra, the fourth position with the fatha, and lastly you have a alif, and then the hamza with the dhamma. So that's the template that you're looking for, and now you can see that we can replace it fa, ain, and lam over there. Now one thing you might have noticed that there is ya, and I didn't put that in the common. That's the ya over there, that's the ya over there, and that's the ya over there, because I have taken by accident the example that's end up with a ya, but there are some nouns on this template or in this pattern, they do not have ya over there. That's why I left it as a blank space. So replace that with fa, ain, and lam. So that is af'ila'u. That is af'ila'u. And join it together, that would be af'ila'u. And that is in rafa case. So let's see it in nasab and jar. And that's af'ila'u. And that's af'ila'a, af'ila'i. Another template that we can generate from here is the ghuraba'u, is the broken plural of gharibun, umara'u, amirun, and it's the broken plural of amirun, shurafa'u, and it's the broken plural of sharifun, and then ulama'u is the broken plural of alimun, and then fuqara'u is the broken plural of faqirun. Let's generate a template from them. The first thing that you can see it is the vibration that is in common, so I would be speeding up because you know now the practice. The second is the vibration, and that is the fatha. The third one is the also vibration, and that's the fatha. And lastly you have something alif and the hamza with the dhamma. So put the standard letters over there, that would be fu, a, la, o. So that is then fu'ala'u, and that is in rafa. So you have a fu'ala'u, and that would be fu'ala'a, fu'ala'i. Now let's see the another one, which is marda, is a broken plural of maridun, mauta, and that's the broken plural of mayyitun, and sur'a, that's the broken plural of sari'un. Now let's generate our last template out of these words, which is the thing which is uncommon is the fatha and then the second letter, and then you have that with the standing fatha, and then you have a ya at the end. So if you replace those things with fa, ain and lam, you would have it. So that is fa'la. So that would be fa'la, and you join together, that is fa'la, and that is in rafa. So you need to see it also in a nasab and jar, and that gives me fa'la, fa'la, and fa'la. If you see that that is the mabni nouns that we have taken an example from. So the mabni nouns are made, something of that one is a template that you can see it, where it doesn't change in nominative or accusative or genitive case. So it remains as it is, and that is fa'la, fa'la, and fa'la. So far we have seen 7 templates, and those 7 templates consist of some of the words that the munsarif asma, that some of them are coming which ends in tanween, and we've seen some of the nouns that were ghair munsarif and they didn't have tanween, and the last one template that you have seen here is made of the mabni asma. So that's what we have seen so far. Let's practice it and see that if we can make the broken plural of something and then run around in the whole table, and then we can identify it into different cases. The first one is bab. So its singular would be babun, and then if you take it to the nasab, that will be baban and babin. The muthanna would be babani, and that's the nasab of that dual case would be. I don't have to revise those things again because we already have done that one. What we need is here to practice that we can understand actually how the things works. And if I wanted to make a broken plural of it, because babun is of the form that a broken plural of it, and that comes with the extensive reading, that the more you read, you would know that which word would convert to a broken plural of what template. That doesn't mean that you can use the all 7 template and you can derive 7 broken plurals. A one word would derive a one broken plural from a second template. So abwabun is a broken plural of babun, and then you have abwaban, and let's see, that one is abwabun, and you got that one is just the tanween over there and alif, and it works the same rule. So you have tanween and it will be always followed with alif in the nasab case. So abwaban and then abwabin. And let's see the another case, masjid, and that would be masjidun, masjidan, and masjidin. Masjidani, we talk about the 2 masjids, mosques, masjidaini and masjidaini. So the broken plural of masjidun is masajidu. It doesn't end with the tanween because it's a ghair munsarif, and that comes again with the extensive reading that we have done that one, masjidun, and that is the masajidu, masajida, and masajida. Now you can see that when it's a singular, it is a munsarif noun, but when it comes to the broken plural, it becomes the ghair munsarif. Now another one, jannatun, that's the feminine example, jannatun, and then you can see jannatun in a singular case as a feminine, and then jannatan, jannatin, and then the muthanna would be jannatani, jannataini, jannataini, jannatun, that's the broken plural of jannatun, that's the jannatun, and that's the jannatun, jannatin, and jannatin. And let's practice rajulun, rajulun, rajulan, rajulin, rajulani, rajulaini, rajulaini, rijalun. Rijalun is a broken plural of rajulun, rijalan, rijalun. You need to find out what template has been used here. That's your exercise, and you can see that. So break this word into 3 root letters, that's it, fa, ain, and lam as a standard, and put it into the template. You will generate it and a template, and let's find out what template it was that is being used here. That's an exercise you can follow. Rijalun, rijalan, and rijalan. Now see, the rajulun is a man, so what would be the woman? The woman would be imra'atun, and that's what is imra'atun is in rafa, imra'atan, imra'atin, imra'atan, imra'ateni, imra'ateni. Now in the broken plural, something would happen which is deviate away from the normal things, and that's what we bring it as an exception. And imra'atun, when it goes into the broken plural, it will be nisa'un. And when you take it to the nasab and jar, that would be nisa'an and nisa'in. So you need to remember this exception, that a woman, when is a singular, is imra'atun, but that doesn't follow any template. If something is exception, that you can remember that jama plural, which is the broken plural of this one, would be nisa'un. Now the final thing that you need to do is to practice and do this exercise. Just pause the video at this minute and look at these things and do the exercise. That means look for the translation of each noun and circle feminine nouns right there in different cases. You need to find out what other feminine nouns has been used here. And in the second case, you can find the meaning. You need to find out the meaning and then sort out the singular. There are some singular, there are some dual, and there are plural nouns. You need to identify which one is singular, which one is plural, because you know now that what kind of noun they are. If they end in something, then they probably would be a singular or plural or dual cases. So you need to find out what is singular, which one is plural, and if you are more expert in it, you can find it that which template has been used. So change the noun to the missing form. If something is, say for example, this word is singular, then change it into dual and then change it also to the plural. Maybe it will end up as a sound plural, or maybe it end up as a broken plural. At this stage, you can use the knowledge of a dictionary that you can go in and look at it. So I've told you that the word and the dictionary would be written in the form of a root letter. 3 root letters would be written, but there would be more root letters, so don't worry about it at this stage. We have used only 3 root letters here, so go and find it in dictionary, and I will see you inshallah in the next lesson. Sadaqallahu al-Azim.